friends, myself Dr. M.D. Ahire, Assistant Professor in Botany. Today I am going to start the second term syllabus, Plant Life and Utilization, paper second. The first topic is Introduction to Plant Diversity. You everybody know the plant having the variety of life forms and their differences in between the life forms is known as the plant diversity, or simply biological diversity is the variety of life forms at all levels of biological system, that is molecular system, organisms, population, species, ecosystem, etc. In 1992, United Nations Earth Samiti defined biological diversity as variability among the living organisms from all sources. So, the plant diversity is one of the important group of the plant life. So, there are different life forms, that is angiosperms, gymnosperms, pteridophyte, bryophyte. So, first we see the diversity in pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are regarded as the vascular cryptogams. Last semester we have seen the cryptogamic plant, that is bryophytes, algae, fungi. So these all forms of the plants are known as the non-vascular plants because the vascular system is absent in the lower cryptogams. But in pteridophytes, the vascular system is well developed, so they are known as vascular cryptogams, or they have well developed conducting systems, that is xylem and phloem, whose dispersal relies on the spores, not seeds. The pteridophyte is a large group of ancient or primitive land plants with worldwide distribution, all continents except Antarctica and most islands. Plant shows diversity in their morphological as well as anatomical characters, but have uniform life cycle pattern. This group represents 10,000 to 12,000 species in the world. Based on the origin, the development of sporangia can be grouped into two types, that is eusporangiate type and leptosporangiate type. Eusporangiate type means sporangia are developed from a group of cells, and leptosporangiate type, the sporangia are developed from the single superficial sporangial cell called sporangial initials. In eusporangiate form, the sporangium is large and massive. The wall is several cells in thickness and the spore content is high. In leptosporangiate forms, the sporangium is small, the wall is one cell in thick and the spore content is low. Of these two types, the eusporangiate is primitive and the leptosporangiate advanced type. So, sporophyte of the what is sporophyte? Sporophyte, it is a major dominant diploid phase in the life cycle of pteridophyte. Main plant body is sporophytic. In sporophyte is organized into root, stem and leaves, or internally it shows the differentiation of vascular elements. So in case of lower cryptogams, the dominant phase is gametophytic phase and the sporophytic phase is recessive. But in pteridophyte, the sporophytic phase is dominant. It shows the differentiation of vascular elements. All the living pteridophytes are nearly herbaceous except few woody fern plants. For example, Cyathea. The plant grow in damp, cool, shady places. Some members are xerophyte and some are hydrophyte. The stem may be dichotomously or laterally branched, which bears microphyllous or megaphyllous leaves. In ferns, stem is reduced, known as codex, or it is also known as vertical rhizome. It rises conspicuously into the air, or it appears as a rhizome running along the surface of the earth or underground. The stem contains vascular bundles consisting of woody, dotted, annular, closed, spiral, and scalariform tracheids. These vascular bundles are arranged in a peculiar manner. The roots are generally adventitious, the primary embryonic root being very short lived. The stem, root, and the leaves grow by means of single, two-sided, or three-sided apical cells, or by a group of apical initials. The vascular of the sporophyte may be simple, protostele, siphonostele, dictyostele, or polycyclic stellar organization. Usually, xylem consists of tracheids only and vessels are absent. Phloem consists of only sieve cells and tubes of companion cells are absent. Secondary growth is absent in majority of the living pteridophytes except Isoetis. The leaves are of two types. One is microphyllous and second is macrophyllous. Microphyllous leaves are very small, sessile, membranous. For example, Selaginella, equisetum, they shows the scaly leaves. Microphyllous leaves are large in size and long petiole with enlarged lamina, pinnately compound. In the fern, the leaves are called fronds. They produce at the summit of the stem and they form a very graceful crown or corona. In the young state, they are rolled off and circinate manner. The fronds bears the fructifications. We can note diversity of the venation of leaflet or pinna. The venation of fern supplies important characters in classification. Next is gametophyte. Gametophyte, the sporophyte produces haploid spores. These spores germinate and form haploid gametophyte or prothallus. The homosporous pteridophytes generally have monoecious prothallus, that is, prothallus bears both antheridia and archegonia. For example, Xylotum, equisetum. In heterosporous forms, male and female prothalli are separate. For example, Selaginella, Marcellia, Teres, etc. The prothalli in homosporous forms are green, simple and branched. They are aerial. They may be subterranean, colorless or tuberous. For example, Lycopodium. The gametophytes are greatly reduced in the heterosporous vascular cryptogams. For example, Selaginella, Marcellia. Gametophytes are homosporous. Pteridophytes are exosporic, while those of heterosporic pteridophytes are endosporic. That means gametophytes initiate within the spores. Then reproduction pteridophytes. Pteridophytes reproduces by sexual as well as vegetative methods. We note two distinct phases in the life cycle of the pteridophytes. The main plant representing diploid sporophytic phase and short living reduced haploid gametophytic phase. Vegetative reproduction. Sporophytic plant reproduces vegetatively by various means. A number of species produces vegetative buds or bulbils that are capable for producing the roots and new plants. These bulbils are leaf dihyoid structure and are produced in leaf axil at various places on the leaf. So, these are the members of pteridophytes: Lycopodium, Selaginella, Equisetum. The equisetum is also known as the horsetail because the cone is, the structure is horsetail like, or the leaves are very long, having the nodes and internodes. Sexual reproduction. It is the characteristic of gametophytic phase. Sexual organs are produced on prothallus superficially or remain embedded in the gametophytic tissue. Sex organs are multicellular, develop on one and same thallus, that is monoecious thallus, on two different thalli, that is dioecious. The sexual organs are microscopic or nearly so on. The male organs, that is antheridia, produce and shed numerous motile multiflagellate sperms or anthrozoids. The anthrozoids are armed with hair-like or whiplash-like cilia or flagella and are able to swim through the water. They do not travel great distance and they are only released when pre-water are available. So, water is essential for the reproduction, is one of the important characters of bryophyte as well as pteridophytes. The anthozoids are chemically attracted to the developing flask-like female organ, that is archegonia, where fertilization of the single egg cell embedded in each archegonium takes place. On the given prothallus, in some species, the antheridia sometimes mature before the archegonia to reduce the risk of the self fertilization. So, this is the general introduction about the pteridophytes.
Well,